Hey guys, welcome to a Sephora Ulta video. More new items and just sprinkling in some, things that I'm loving. This thing, Amazon, love it. So cute. I always feel like when things are kind of like Asian vibes, that when I wear it, borderline costumey, but also love it a lot, but gotta be careful. I like wearing these kinds of things. It's just gotta be careful sometimes. I really want a red pant to go with this. And then like, I can't figure out what kind of top. This is just like a random, I don't know, sports bra. No, it's like a bralette. There's nothing sporty about it. Okay, so we'll link this below. One of my new favorites. I actually have another one I really like. Hold on. Look at this one. How cute is this? And this one is that kind of like rayon type material where it is so cooling, and I'm usually not into blue like that, but this one I'm into. So cute. I want like a pink or a peach. I think a lime or like a peach would be so pretty. All right guys, so let's start with lips. I have a pink on. It is the Merit Signature Lip in Millennial. I have another shade I want to show you, so we're going to do all lips first. So I paired this with a lip liner very slightly. It's the Pinky Brown from Huda, which is a little more of a pink shade. I like when there's a little more structure in my lips. So this shade is so good because I don't wear pink often because I always think the wrong pink, which is a lot of the pinks for me, make my teeth look yellow, and like that's just like not what I'm trying to do while enjoying a pink lip. But this pink does not make my teeth look yellow, so we like that a lot. Also, when you see reviews for these, if you've seen a negative review, send it to me because I don't believe you. The formula here is so smooth. It's like a gel lipstick balm. So that's on the lips. Do we see how kind of just smooth it looks as a lip color? The next one I have to share with you is called Slip. This was like the one color I was really into when this was released. I was like, that's the color I'm gonna get. I added it to like my wish list on Sephora, and then Merit reached out and they were like, do you wanna do, feature some products? I'm like, oh yeah. So thank you, Merit. Okay, so we've completely removed that pink. Look at that. Ugh. It's a nude that leans like a tan brown. Oh God. So there we have that by itself. Beautiful. Like the no lip color. It's like an interesting kind of, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's an extremely effortless look is what I guess I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna add a little bit of Honey Beige as the lip liner from Huda. Just a teeny tiny bit. I could also just use a lip brush and use the lipstick, but just enough to give it like just that like effortless but like a little bit of effort, minimal effort lip. So if you're into cool tone lips and you kind of like that blotted lip look, this is excellent. All right, and because we're wearing a very warm situation, I'm gonna add a little bit of warmth back in, and we're gonna use, I have a whole bunch of their lip oils. We have Marrakesh, we have Au Naturel, which is like a favorite because it's like the most easy one to wear. And then Cara Cara, which is, again, so when they go warm, they go really warm. And we love that. So I think I'm gonna pull, so Cara Cara is more of like an orangey red. Marrakesh is kind of in between. It's like a orangey pink, pinky orange. So we'll add that in to bring a little bit of warmth back into the lips. Okay, so there we are. A more cool tone base with the kind of in-between medium warm shade. I think it's like so pretty. Okay, so we're there with lips. Next Sephora sale, recommend. And packaging, I know everyone talks about the packaging. It really is beautiful. It says Merit, and then it's just stunning. quickly do eyes because I have so many bronzers and concealers that we need to talk about. These are just kind of older products that I'm still using a lot of. This is the Iconic London. There's like a glitter and a crayon, and I use the crayon a lot, and this was in the shade Goldmine. And you would think, okay, maybe the crayon is gold. No, the crayon is this like patinaed old gold kind of color, and when you apply it and blend it out, there's so much beautiful reflect. I wear this on its own all the time. And then the eyeshadows are the Charlotte Tilbury Quad in the Rebel. I have just these two shades on the lid, but it creates so much beautiful dimension. The other two I didn't use today, although I often do an entire look with this, like all 4 shades. So here's the Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, and then so here's the eyes. We have a lot of the kind of the more the gold shade here, and then we've added a lot more of like that satin green. And then we kind of did like that K-Beauty vibe where we have a lot of gold and shimmer here, and then we softened it with like a darker shade. So it kind of creates this really beautiful, diffused, shadowy effect. Love it. So for complexion, I've had this foundation for a while. I just have not had the chance. I don't know, I just didn't know where to put it. And I've mentioned it in a couple videos probably before this, but this is the No. 1 de Chanel foundation. Mine is in the shade BD31. I have a really hard time finding my shade in Chanel complexion products. I thought like B20 would work, BD21, but they always are just like slightly off, like they're a little too light, or they're a little too peach, or they're a little too like beige. And then BD20 or BD31, I feel like is a little warm on me, but it's the closest thing. So if you are my shade in a lot of other foundations and you are familiar with Chanel complexion, let me know what shades you're getting, because I feel like I have a really hard time picking my shade in Chanel based products and end up returning because it's just not correct. It's like off enough where I'm just not gonna reach for it, you know what I mean? So I love this. The wear time is beautiful. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. I feel like the shadows today, it's like a very dark day and we're using natural daylight. I feel like I could look a little like mismatched like between my neck and my face, but I promise you it's like a decent match. It's just probably really warm because I tried to put a lot of bronzer on today because I have so many bronzers to share with you. Highly recommend this foundation. I think it's lovely. I love that Ulta is selling Chanel now because we can use rewards, and that is how I've been accumulating so many more Chanel products, and I love it because I've always kind of not avoided, like I'll buy a Chanel product here and there, but I've never been committed to any of their complexion products because I just knew it was such a hard way, or it would be such a hard time to shade match. And then this is like a viral product. It's the Givenchy powder. I have the shade 2 Satin Blanc. I love this. I think it's beautiful. So you get 4 shades. You have a kind of a peach and a pink on one side, and then you have kind of a lavender and light soft yellow on the other in this shade. And I just like flip it over, kind of tap, and I use whatever's in the lid or whatever ends up in like the top of the jar. Guys, I'm gonna link this below. Uoma Beauty has come out with what I think is like the most innovative genius level packaging for loose powder ever. Actually, Andrew sent it to me. I didn't even see this. And I was like, I want this. So they basically just created like a hole straight through the container so that when you twist the component, powder comes to the bottom of the container and you can just use whatever's there. I know it sounds weird when I'm describing it. I'm gonna link it. It is amazing. And then I was like, we need to use this in cooking. Like if you could just like twist an exact amount of powder out, like garlic powder, salt, whatever it is, just imagine, guys, imagine the possibilities, right? Anyway, I think this powder is beautiful. I used it under my eyes. I used it to set my face. It is really beautiful. It's really blurring. And it mattifies really softly. So I've used it to set my face, and today I also used it to finish my face. So I took a whole bunch of the powder, put it on a larger brush, and kind of buffed it over my cheeks because I have a lot of kind of bronzer products on there. We did a mix, so I wanted something that would blend everything out really nicely. Okay, so next there's a whole bunch of concealer corrector type things. So the first thing I want to share with you, I picked this up from Ulta. I think it was like part of their like Diamond Days, and it was on promotion for maybe like 20 bucks. It's the skin corrector stick, and I got the shade Peach. and it's a very rounded off little stick, which you were like, okay, whatever, big deal. But I think in applying the product, it makes a really big difference because you can apply less. It's just kind of gliding on your skin, whereas when something is flat, you're almost pressing it into your skin more. So I personally feel like it being rounded off allows you to apply less product. And you need okay, I don't want to say you need a very little product. I need very little product, but you can build it up. You can keep swiping it. It doesn't become like this like cakey mess. It's really beautiful. So before I start my makeup, I'll just like apply some in the inner corners of my eye, around my nose and around my mouth, a little bit around like the end of my brows where I want to conceal bad microblading, and then wherever I kind of have like healing blemishes and it's like a little darker there. And I just like let it sit there for a while until I'm ready to do like blend it in or do complexion. Beautiful. I'll have swatches of everything I'm showing you in a bit. The next thing I want to talk about, I feel like I touch on this here and there on different videos, but I've never like forced it on you, like pushed it in your face, you know? And these are the Winky Lux Peeper Perfect Concealers. This went fully viral on TikTok. And I was like, this is amazing. So I can't remember the name of the woman, but she has like a skin condition, I think. And there's just like, she has like folds in her skin and it's very difficult for her to use makeup there, concealer, powder, whatever. And when she was using this, it looked amazing. It was like, wow, she looks so great with this concealer. So of course it sold out and I had to wait and wait and wait. So initially only light medium was available, like one of the lighter shades. So I picked it up. It does work. It's a little peachier for my, or not peachier, but it's like a little dark for my face. But when I use it under the eyes, it does counteract any kind of like darkness there really beautifully, but it doesn't brighten. And then finally it came back in stock and I got light beige. Light beige, I guess, generally speaking, would be my perfect shade for the under eyes because it's quite brightening, but I tend to mix the two. Sometimes I'll use just one or the other. Sometimes I'll do like 50-50, 60-40. It just depends on how the rest of my makeup is looking. This concealer is so beautiful. I've showed it to you in other videos, I'm sure, but I just think my under eyes look so perfect with it. Powder, no powder, equally beautiful. This is a new concealer from Saie. I have the shade 2. I'm interested in 4 for the face maybe, but this is really, really beautiful. It's a very hydrating concealer. It's a very glowy concealer. So if you don't like that, maybe stay away from that, especially if you also don't like powder, because powder does help the dewiness of it. I don't think there's a lot of coverage. So I feel like there's a very small demographic that could be into this, even though it sounds like everyone could love it. There is a shade even lighter than this, and I'm curious if it would be really beautiful as a highlighter. Down the nose, on top of the cheeks, just like as a complexion highlight versus a highlight. So there's like light to light medium coverage. It's glowy, it's hydrating. So you think about that when you're buying it or considering it, because I don't think it's for everyone. It has been described as a lighter version of the Kosas, which I kind of get. The Kosas one, it really feels like almost like an eye cream, and it's really hydrating. I also think it has a lot of coverage. So much coverage that when I feel like I'm pairing it with a lot of my complexion products, which are light to light medium, maybe medium, I always feel like the Kosas concealer looks too makeup-y on me, but I enjoy using it. I'll just use less. And this is like the alternative to that, where the applicator gives you a little less product so you can work more in like layers, or it's just not as incredibly pigmented. So actually I should try mixing the two and see what happens, but I'm gonna keep this. I really like it still because I will still reach for it. I think there are still occasions for me to use this. Lastly is the newest offering from Huda Beauty. It's the Full Filter Concealer. I have 2 shades. We have 2.5 Nougat, which is like a golden undertone, and then 2.7 Coconut Flakes, which is a neutral undertone. So that's 2.5 more golden, 2.7 more neutral. This has been getting extremely positive reviews across the board, I feel, and like across all age ranges. I will insert clips. I've worn it with powder and I've worn it without powder. Okay, so here's some up close of the concealer. So it does kind of emphasize any fine lines I have there, which I'm fine with because I have them, but also again, the concealer looks like I have applied a concealer and a powder, and like both are just kind of average products, because it doesn't do anything extra for me, and I have a corrector on, so yeah. Okay, so this is the Huda concealer without powder. I only powdered from here out. I think the lines are still definitely there, and as I was doing my makeup, I would just see it kind of start to crease a little, and I'd pat it through, but the pat through led to product being lifted a little. I know this concealer's been getting really, really good reviews across the board. For me, I guess when you are older, you are really, really hyper sensitive to even the smallest flaw, I guess. So yeah, it is a decent face concealer. It's in fact a really beautiful face concealer. But again, it's kind of medium, so when you keep building it up, I feel like then it doesn't look as good on the face. And I've also tried using it as foundation, and it's I don't know, I don't like the look of it. Again, it just looks like you have foundation and powder on, which is not a bad thing. I don't know, you know how like sometimes you just don't like the way your face looks? It might look a little too makeup-y. Maybe that's what it is, yeah. Okay, so after seeing that, what do you guys think? Because I think it looks decent. I'm just not like wowed by it, and I'm not like wanting to reach for it every day. So I really like it everywhere except for right in the inner corner, because it doesn't matter how little I apply. If I don't apply enough, I don't get any coverage. But if I too much, then I feel like it gets all like creasy and cakey, and like my lines just show like, you know, before I smile, which not what I want. The Bobbi Brown corrector in peach. These two are the Winky Look, so light beige and light medium. This is the Say number 2, Nougat, and then Coconut Flakes from Huda. So this one's more gold, this one's more neutral. So this area I enjoy more, obviously. All right, guys, ready for bronzers? Yeah, it's summer, we love bronzers. Okay, and I also feel like I should preface this and even just every makeup video going forward with that makeup is just good now. Things that we would give a 5-star rating to 5-10 years ago would get like 1 or 2 stars now. And right now, everything is at least 2 or 3 stars. And then there's a lot of 4 and 5-star products. I just feel like there's so much good stuff now. Everyone's formulas are decent. Everyone's color stories are what we're looking for. Everyone's formulas for eyeshadows and powder products are just significantly better. Baked products are more, I don't know why I'm doing this. Baked products are so much more prevalent. A lot of people are baking their makeup, so we love that. So we have tons of cream bronzers and a handful of like powder situations. So let's start with my absolute favorites first. The Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transferring Skin Enhancer. I initially picked up light medium. Love it so much. I have it on today. And then I picked up medium, and I kind of think I want medium dark. Because light medium, cool toned. Medium, warm tone, like very warm. As in like, I have this on as like a contour bronzer, and I have this on as almost like a blush today. And then the next shade is medium dark, which is again cool tone, so like a slightly probably darker version of this, which I'm not against. I love cool tones, guys, on my skin. I don't know why, it's just what I like for bronzer. So we have it on. It's so beautiful. So imagine this is more the light medium, here is more the medium, and then I threw a powder situation down here that I'm going to share with you in a bit. But every review that you see for this is legit because it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I can't wait to use it in the winter when the staying power will be even more amazing. You would think this would just like drip off of your face, like melt. It doesn't. It sets really beautifully. You can powder on top of it. I've used so many different kind of powder bronzers on top of it. None of them have been like messed up and like weird or muddy. I just love this product so much. Next is the Charlotte Tilbury Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Fair because it's the most cool tone version. Y'all, I had to like search for this, like hunt for this. It was nowhere online, and then I think it was probably available like on one of the like UK based websites, but I was like, oh, I don't want to get it from there in case I don't like it and I have to return it, like whatever. Finally found it at a local Sephora. So if you're ever shopping and you have like a in-store option, click on it, see if it's available at a location near you and you can grab it, because that's how I got mine. I love this. It's beautiful. The formula is creamy, but like creamy and stiff. I know it's like a weird combination to tell you, but like it does go from cream to powder on your face. Blends out beautifully. I feel like it would work as far as skin types go. Even if you are oily, I think you might be able to use this. Now your level of oil, I think, whatever, but if you're kind of just like, oh, a lot of cream bronzers don't work for me, this one will probably, you should give it a try. It might work on you. I just love it. This is so good. You know, obviously the packaging is just so fun and beautiful, and we love a huge compact. We don't love it for travel, so I wouldn't necessarily travel with this, even though I really want to, but for bronzers, the bigger the compact, the happier I am, because you can throw a big brush in it and do that really beautiful like sculpt, like soft sculpt. The Beauty Blender Bounce, the Magic Fit Creamy Bronzer and Highlighter Duo. I got the medium shade. I feel like I might need the lighter version of this, but I'm not sure if I'm loving it enough to want to try that. So you get a highlighter on the top. Beautiful. The formula of this highlighter, I get why they're doing it like as a duo, but I wish they would sell these things separately, because I would just get like the lighter, probably color of this highlighter on its own. It's so beautiful. Formula, exquisite. Then there's the bronzer. So in mine, the highlighter is in the shade Champagne, and then the bronzer's in the shade Topaz. So I do like that they've kind of named them separately, so that perhaps we might see these later on separately. So this is true cream to powder. You're like, oh, you know, you're like, you get your finger in there and you're kind of like, oh, okay, or your brush, and you're like, but then it fully dries down. I'll insert a clip now of me wearing it. Okay, so there you can see the Beauty Blender, the medium. I like it, I don't love it. It's not like my absolute favorite. The highlight is decent. It doesn't have any, it's like you can see like gold here a little bit. It doesn't do any lifting, but it definitely gives a glow to that area. So I wonder if I need to do a lighter shade, but I'm also not in love with the formula enough to get another shade. There is lawn mowing happening. Yeah, so based off of that, maybe we need to look at the lighter shade, but I'm also not obsessed with it enough to do it. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe in store I'll feel differently. Next is the Rose Ink Cream Bronzer. I have the shade in Kawaii. I think this is like the second darkest, second lightest, however you want to look at it. The formula of this is really interesting. It's very, very stiff, but it's not blendable. I don't know how to explain it. I'm kind of in between here. It applies lightly, which means it's very, very buildable. However, I feel like it never fully builds to like max capacity. Like I remember just applying and applying and applying, and it still looked really beautiful. So it's kind of like a there but not there makeup. Like yes, you will know that the person has bronzer on, but I think it also works with the aesthetic, or goes fully on with the aesthetic and like messaging of the brand in general. So I like it, I don't love it, okay? Then we have Haus Labs. I have the shade 6. This reminds me full on, remember when Natasha Denona did like that bronze palette and there was like that powder bronzer in there? I get a very similar effect. So I don't have a clip I can insert, or maybe I can try, but like when I was doing like my Target video and I was wearing like that green like top, I had this bronzer on. I loved my makeup that day. This makes you look so, so bronzed. I'm curious about other shades. I didn't see this in store. I just kind of picked a shade that I thought looked good based off of watching a whole bunch of videos and seeing a whole bunch of swatches. I feel like this bronzer's been getting like decent reviews, like B plus. Like no one's like, oh my god, it's amazing. I actually think it's really amazing. I really, really like it. I think it looks really, really bronzed. If you want to look like you were just outside or like you've been on vacation, I feel like this formula, it's really buildable and it looks really good on the skin. As far as the other things, I know she fully just relaunched at Sephora, but I don't know. The other products I'm kind of like, I'm just really into bronzer and I'm not into highlight right now, so yeah, I'm curious again to look at other shades. Lastly, I picked this up from Ulta. It's the Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 3 from Hourglass. And I struggled with like, I hate when people say struggle in like a non-struggling situation. But I thought about not getting this, even though I'm like, it's not made for my skin tone, right? But I use the center shade, which is the more satiny shade of the bunch, and I use it as like a contour a lot. It has like a slight red, slight brown undertone, and I really like that for like contouring sometimes, especially if you have a heavier bronzer on. It just looks really good because I essentially have like 3 or 4 bronzers on right now. Also, have I used this as an eyeshadow palette? Many times. If you just want that really flawless, seamless blend and you want to do kind of like a warm bronzier eye, oh, I got you here, or Hourglass has got you here. Okay, so the Makeup by Mario, light medium, medium. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty Blender Highlight, the Beauty Blender Bronzer. This one is the Rose Ink. Again, you can see like it's quite light. This is Haus Labs number 6, and these 3 are the Hourglass, like, ooh, love, love. So do you see this like Beauty Blender like highlight? It's really pretty. Really pretty. So I kind of want the lighter one. And I'm curious if the lighter bronzer is more cool tone, because this is kind of warm. Alright, so thank you for coming to this video and watching it and listening to me ramble. I love so many of these products, and a lot of them are things that I've had for a while that I just haven't had the opportunity to share because I don't know how often, like when was the last time I did like a full-on like makeup focused video, but yay. So this is kind of like a catch up and a speed reviews, so now I have to go figure out my thumbnail. I actually have a bag. Should I be that girl? We'll see. Alright, see you later.